Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to today's live training. Give me 1 second. Just want to make sure that the voice is right. So how are we doing this beautiful Wednesday evening? Today is the day and we are doing this live training together. So please let me know in the chat where you're joining me from. I would love to hear and give you a shout out. Hi, Kelly. Hello, hello, Kelly. Welcome, 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 everybody. Big shout out to Kelly from Las Vegas. We have Brenda, we have Claudine, Irene. Hey, Irene, welcome. We have Terry, we have Tracy. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to today's live training. We're going to talk about the subconscious mind, the power of our beautiful brain and what it can do in our lives. And we're gonna break some habits. We're gonna break some things that kept us tied into the paradigms that are not serving us anymore. And it's time to break these habits. I made it my mission to share what I have learned over the past few years with as many people as possible. And the guidance has kept coming for me to actually start making more trainings and more live trainings like this one, so people can actually learn from me and with me. And of course, we have the awesome Geoffrey Hand with us here. And also we have a guest speaker. It's a person that has been a huge help for me, specifically Mr. Nick Matthews. I see he just joined us. Nick is specialized in the area of neuroscience and subconscious reprogramming, past life regression, you name it, he has it. Hello, Helen. Helen is from the UK too. Awesome. We have Tracy from Cloudester, England. Wow, we have a lot of Brits in the house. Hello, everybody. Technically, I am British. My mother is English, so technically, I am half British. Welcome, 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 everybody. We're going to give it probably another minute or so for people to join in, and then we'll dive right into today's training. As I mentioned, today we're going to talk about the subconscious mind and its powers and how we could really harness the power of the subconscious mind to really create everlasting change. A lot of times we try to change things consciously. So we know on a conscious level, like we should do this and it's best for us. And sometimes we even apply these things, but we keep forgetting that the subconscious mind is the root of our consciousness. And if you have a belief that you consciously believe in that is not supported by what you accepted subconsciously, then you have the deck stacked against you. And today, between me and Nick and Jeff, we want to help you guys really find the blind spots areas in your life, so you no longer have to wonder, oh my gosh, how am I going to get over this hump? So Nick and Jeffrey, are you guys ready?
I am indeed.
All right.
Zane.
Hello, Nick. Loving the beard, buddy.
Going through a stage.
So, all right, guys, let's kick it in. Let's dive into today's training. Let's really wow the crowd by what we have in store for them. And I will be listening as much as participating, because whenever I get the chance to have Nick in the house, I'm always like taking notes, learning from this man, because he has truly helped me specifically with few subconscious beliefs that kept me kind of stuck in certain areas of life. And the minute I flipped the switch on them, boom, transformation occurred almost instantly. So without further ado, let's welcome Jeffrey and Nick. Everybody type in the chat, welcome, welcome. Let's give them a lot of energy. And for those who know me, you know how much I love energy. So let's keep the energy high before we dive to the training. All right, they're welcoming you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys. All right, let's dive in, Jeffrey.
All right. Well, you know, one of the most important things that I think we've all been kind of wondering about and talking about lately is you know, the subconscious mind and the power, that I am factor of being in the subconscious and what that means. And, you know, Nick and I have been talking about this recently, and there's a lot of things that people struggle with. When you stop and you talk and you think about it, we struggle with basically, let me pull this over here. If you see me looking from side to side, it's because I've got several screens that I'm pulling over here. We're doing this this webinar a little bit differently. It's not a power deck or a slide deck that we're going to put up there in front of you and talk and try to sell you this program or that program. We're actually here talking and teaching and trying to help you, give you some content and give you some information, just face-to-face, one-on-one, so that we can help you. And that's the purpose of this training. It is to help you to overcome some of these obstacles in your life that everybody experiences. And I mean, we all run into these roadblocks when you stop and you think about it. I think that one of the biggest ones is just with relationships, with people, with family and friends. That's one of the biggest stressors in life, is that when you are not settled in your relationships, whether that be at home or at work or with your friends or your family, when there's contention, when there's anger, when there's an unease or an unhappiness in those relationships, your life is going to be stressful. Your life is going to be overwhelming. Your life is going to be unhappy. And it's when those relationships are in harmony, then that our lives become harmonized and we become at peace and we become happy. So relationships, how we deal one with another, that is a huge factor in the equation of finding happiness and success in life. In addition, if we look at Maslow's, or Nick, help me out there. Is it? I always get it. Pavlov and Maslow.
I think it's Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah.
There we go.
And it's the top two sections that we're interested in, I think.
That's right. Pavlov was the dog thing.
That's right. The Russian.
When the bell rings, the dog salivates and is ready to eat. But that in itself also has to do with our subconscious, right? That's we also condition our minds to do that as well. And up there we go. Here we've got the pyramid.
Yeah, I wanted to show the pyramid while you guys are talking about it, so people understand what you're referring to.
Thank you. That's great. So physiological needs and safety needs and belongingness, and this is where those relationships that I was just talking about a minute ago come. Mostly in our world today, the first two have been met. Physiological and safety have been met. But where people really run into problems is the belongingness, the esteem, and the self-actualization. This is where people find that they're missing and lacking in life today. Don't you agree with that, Nick? Is that what you're finding with a lot of the work that you're doing?
Yeah, very much so, Jeff. A few years ago, actually, long years ago, doesn't time fly by, I was fortunate enough to work with a professor called Stephen Covey at Brigham Young University. And I was doing his psychology classes. And I'm going to read you just a small piece from his book. And this fits in with both what we're talking about now, but also about how we overcome some of these issues. And it's to do with, we don't know what we don't know. And what Stephen Covey said is, the range of what we think and do is limited by what we fail to notice. So we don't actually understand because we don't notice that there are things wrong. And because we fail to notice, there is little we can do to change until we notice how failing to notice shapes our thoughts and deeds. And I think that is core of what we're going to be talking about today, in that we need to better understand whereabouts we are on this particular pyramid, look at how we actually achieve self-actualization or spiritual awakening, call it what you like. The issues are, there are people have some blocks on how they can actually achieve the best out of their life. And I think the aim is, and certainly the aim of my work over the last 20 years, is to get people to the peak of that particular pyramid. using all different sorts of techniques and models that are based on science. You know, we call it, it's where Western science meets Eastern philosophy, because even though it isn't scientific based, you know, there's a lot of learning that we've taken from Buddha, from Zen, and from the Eastern philosophies. And what we've done is joined that and connected it to Western science. So we understand how the brain works, we understand how the limbic system works, we understand how the frontal cortex works and the chemicals around it. But I'll go on to those later, Jeff. I'm sorry, I get carried away. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about helping people. And I just love it.
That's right. Well, and you know, a lot of the people on the call probably already have experienced a lot of this. I mean, I'm sure that there are people on the call that have had problems with relationships and feeling love and like they belong. Also the esteem. Sometimes we just don't feel very good about ourselves. We feel not good enough. We don't feel like we're able to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish in life, and that we're not prepared enough to meet life's challenges. That self-esteem is so important. And then the self-actualization, where we get to meet achieve our full potential. So many people, they die with so many things left undone. They go to the grave and they've got a life of regret. They didn't get this done. They didn't get that goal accomplished. They didn't have this. They didn't have that. It's just the cemeteries are full of dead dreams, right? These dreams have died with the people that had them. And so many times I tell people, don't die full. Don't die full of regret. If you're going to prepare your life and go through life, live your life like every day is your last day, then don't have any regrets. Live like you have all your dreams and all your goals accomplished. But we have problems doing that, don't we? I mean, we really run into these roadblocks. Our mind stops us. Our physical, our conscious mind stops us so many times. And our subconscious is really there in the background driving everything, but the conscious mind gets in the way. And we can't achieve those goals. We can't achieve the things that we want to achieve and accomplish all the things that we want to do in life. And we have problems with our relationships, and we have this and we have that. And it seems like that conscious mind gets in the way. I can't do that. I can't do this. I struggle with that. I'm having problems. My relationship isn't good. I don't know what I'm going to do. Everything on and on and on and on. And I ask the people on the participants here today, have you experienced that? Do you understand those problems? Are they part of your life? If you would just type in the chat box, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced these same problems that we're talking about right here? Because I know I have. I've experienced them. And I know Zane has.
Guys, I can share some examples to help you guys really understand what we're talking about. So let's say somebody knows that he or she needs to lose some weight. So on a conscious level, they believe with all their heart that it's in their best interest to lose this weight so they can feel better about themselves, so they can look good, so they don't have to self-doubt and all that stuff. And they are taking action consciously. But the subconscious belief that they hold about themselves does not support the decision that they decided. Guys, between the age of 0, which means the minute we got incepted in our mother's belly, to age 7, we're in a constant state of hypnosis. We are in the theta state of brainwaves. During that time, everything that was around you just goes right into your subconscious without you even knowing what's happening. That's why for the parents in the house and grandparents in the house, I invite you to really be conscientious about the things you discuss in the presence of kids in that age range, because you have no idea what that subconscious mind is just picking up. So going back to the person who wants to lose weight, they consciously made the decision. But deep down in the subconscious, there is a belief. It could be come from childhood or past experiences or even past lives where their self-image is not supportive of being a healthy person. So they tried every diet under the sun. Some people even go to the extremes of getting their stomach stapled, doing things like crazy, and they're still not losing the weight. And 99% of these people, they have a self-image issue in the subconscious that with the right guidance and working with the right people, you could flip that in as little as 10, 15 minutes with some subconscious reprogramming and hypnosis. And before you know it, they are taking action consciously that is in congruence and support of the subconscious mind. So what area in your life that you feel like you are doing everything in your power? Weight is one of them. The other bigger one is money. We take courses and we go to seminars and we do things, and yet we still look at the bank account and it doesn't reflect what we really truly want. I was one of these people. And my self-belief about money came from my childhood, where money was evil, rich people hurt people, and all that stuff. And the minute I was able to release these beliefs, these paradigms that I inherited without even me knowing, because I was doing everything under the sun that was supposed to make me money. And you know what? I was making a lot of money. That every time I go to the bank account or go to my credit cards, and I'm like, oh my gosh, where did all the money go? Because the subconscious programming that I held on for so long was not supportive of that. So each and every one of you, you know the area of life that you're struggling with. It could be attracting the wrong type of people, the wrong relationships, weight, money, school, memory. Oh my God. So many people always reaffirm like, oh, I suck at memory. Well, of course, because you have a subconscious belief that reaffirms that for you. So for those of you who are here with us, please share what area in life that you might be struggling with, because we wanted this training to be an intimate training. There is just us. It's not huge on Facebook and publicized in front of thousands of people. So we want to really help you. So help us by sharing some of your struggles, some areas in life that you want to excel in. We have Nick in the house, and Jeff and me, and we're here with you guys. So let's get some fun going.
So Terry has mentioned that, or she's asked the question, is it true that the conscious mind cannot direct the subconscious mind? So Nick, what do you think about that? Because, you know, with all the training that I've taken, the conscious mind can't directly command the subconscious mind, but it can communicate with the subconscious mind, and we can kind of trick it in a way to kind of get what we want. Isn't that correct?
I tell you what, Jeff, that's an excellent question. And I'm just going to follow on what Zane was talking about. We don't, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm going to say, so I'm going to try and take it slow, but let people follow it. What Zane was saying between the age of 0 and 7 is so important, because at that point, we're developing our value and belief system. So, and we're taking that from our parents, from our friends at school, and we're taking it from our parents, friends, and our extended family. Now, based on that value belief system, it is really determining where your success is going to come from in the early years. And unless we do something about it, your success across the whole spectrum of your life, health, it could, you know, if you haven't been eating healthy, if you come from a poor family, or you haven't got investments, or you didn't go to a good school, or you're not a good sports person, these impact on. And what happens is we produce a filter system in our conscious mind. And this is coming back to your question, Jeff, about can the conscious mind impact upon the unconscious mind? Yes, it can, normally in a negative way. Because what the conscious mind does is trying to maintain those value beliefs that you've got, because it knows it's right. Hey, and it's got all the experience that it knows that it's right. And so what we do is, and this is an amazing piece of scientific discovery, is that we filter out 98% of the things coming into our 5 senses. So that's our hearing, our taste, our smell, our sight, and our touch. And what we do is we delete we distort and we generalize these inputs to suit our value system, which is our reality of the world.
Right.
And therefore we can't change at a conscious level. So therefore the change has to be made at a subconscious level to remove these particular filters. Got an example for you. I call it the learning state. And if everyone is watching at the moment, if you just focus both eyes on the camera, the little camera on the device that you're looking at, keep your eyes focused on that. And as you're focused on it, I want you to open up your peripheral vision. Now, you might be able to see the walls either side of where you're looking at the camera. But up until now, up until I said that, you were deleting or you were ignoring that information that was available to you. Now, you could do the same for sound. If you really listen carefully, you might be able to hear the hard drive on the computer. You might be able to hear some noise outside. These are things that we were deleting because we didn't think they were important for our present view of reality. Now, if we want to change that, we have to use a few models, a few techniques. They're not difficult, but it goes through to what we guys would call personal breakthrough. And I saw a question flash up earlier on, and it was about, do binaural beats work? Well, actually, any form of relaxation, mindfulness, hypnosis, control, it releases the subconscious part of you to be able to make those particular changes. The difficulty is, it's like going down in a pool and you've got to hold your breath. You can only do it for so long, but the conscious mind, 99% of the time, will win, and it will take over and prevent you from making money, becoming healthier, stop those relationships, because we've always got these issues that have always been there and we don't know how to overcome. And it comes back to what Stephen Covey was saying to his students is, if we don't know what we don't know, we'll just continue. And it's a funny old thing. I bet you guys and the people who are listening and watching at the moment, I bet you £1 to $1 that people have come across the same issue time and time again in different situations. And what do? We just keep on going because we think it's going to change eventually. Well, actually, it won't. We've got to do something about it. And the reason we do that is we try and, well, we don't try, we do. We release the right, we know what chemicals work in the, to build those particular neural links that can help this subconscious change. So long response, Jeff, but hopefully, yes, the conscious mind can impact the unconscious, but mainly in a negative way. It's best the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like riding a horse backwards.
Exactly. And you know, yeah, exactly. And Nick is really onto some things here, because I mean, there's some simple techniques that you guys can do in your everyday life. There's just simple things that you can make some small adjustments and small changes to change your perspective, to change your outlook, to change the direction of your life, to change your destiny, right? And we'll tell you a little bit about that here in just a little bit, but Nick has an entire program, Change Your Destiny in 6 days, right? We'll talk a little bit about that later on, but it's incredible. There's just small little things that you can do. For example, did you know that just simply holding your arms up like this in the victory pose, if you do this for a few minutes each day, like you've succeeded, like you've won, if you stand here in this victory pose, and you've seen people in church, right? People in church, they raise their hands and they stand like this. Why do you think they're doing that? They say that they're receiving the power of God. It's coming down to them and they're receiving it with their arms up like that. They're praising God, right? Just that, doing that act right there, it releases some chemicals in your body and it makes you feel more victorious. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel good. Just like if you smile in the mirror. If you smile at yourself in the mirror, if you're having a bad day and you go in and you just force yourself to smile, and I'm not talking about just smile, you know, like I'm talking about smiling with your eyes and your face, and you smile at yourself. It is impossible to feel bad afterwards. It's impossible because it releases some chemicals in your brain that change the chemistry of your brain.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Nick? I mean, you've studied this in depth. You know a lot more about this, these chemicals in the brain that are released when we do these simple things, and we can use that to our advantage.
Yeah, do you know, Jeff, it reminds me of a Charlie Brown cartoon. Charlie Brown stood and he's looking down, and his friend comes up to him and says, Charlie Brown, why are you looking down? He said, I'm feeling depressed. And his friend says, well, why don't you look up? And he says, no, if I look up, I'll feel better. I want to be depressed. And what you were talking about there, Jeff, and you know, and it happens from an emotion to make you feel good. We know that dopamine triggers emotions, which help with your motivation. Oxytocin helps as an anxiety reduction measure. Serotonin helps you feel good. Endorphins, pain relief. Noradrenaline, pleasure. And we know what happens when you're in pleasure. And these are the positive chemicals. And you can actually teach yourself to release these chemicals. What we don't want to do is go into, you know, the old fight or flight caveman response, where we introduce cortisol and adrenaline to the system. You know, 100,000 years ago, the caveman or cavewoman, they were stuck in a corner with a saber-toothed tiger. Well, actually, the cortisol and adrenaline went into the system, and what they would do is get ready to fight or flight. Now, two things happened. One, they got eaten. Well, it didn't make any difference about stress. Or if they got away, the stress went down straight away. But what happens now in modern day life is the stress or the chemicals don't leave the system. And what happens is it builds, it builds, it builds. And before we know it, when it gets really serious, you know, we've got people in the fetal position on the floor because they just can't cope. Now, hopefully there's no one anywhere near that. But what we can do is put a program in place to get people what they want. And it's up to them to decide what they want. You know, I work with professional musicians, footballers, golfers, tennis players to increase by 0.5%. And we use the same methodology. You know, most people, we're starting a little bit further down the scale, but it works. And by understanding what we do know, we can help people put together bespoke programs for them. And a large part of that, people sometimes have the spiritual side of their life missing. And actually that adds so much to a person's roundness and life. Yeah. Anyway, I'll continue. You guys stop me because I'm so passionate. I'll continue all day.
Well, that's why the three of us work so nicely, because we're all so consciously in love with the topic of elevating our consciousness, like truly being in a state of presence. So when that fight or flight does come, like right now I'm in a state in my life where actually I feel when the fight or flight is happening, and I consciously choose to change it. And instead of just let the same reaction play like a record player. That's the power of like deep relaxation, subconscious reprogramming, even affirmations. Affirmations, a lot of people, they have the misconception that affirmations are just repeating words over and over. No, if you do it from a subconscious level and you imprint the meaning of the affirmation within you, then you become that affirmation. There's a difference between holding a paper and saying, I'm abundant, and you saying, oh my gosh, I feel abundant. Wealth comes to me. I generate wealth in every aspect of my life. You see the difference between you reading it from a paper and you become it. That's the power of doing things from the subconscious level. So you're actually growing from the inside out. A lot of people, they look for the outside to find something that they could change. Change occurs by force coming from the outside, forcing us to change, or a force from within. And transformation, that's why I love transformation versus change. Transformation is when something from within changes. Change is when something from the outside forces you to change direction. So always look at the areas where you could transform versus change. And that's where the subconscious comes in really handy.
Do you know, Zane, what you were saying there about, using, and we've discussed anchors and triggers by working on the subconscious to decide what you want and then consciously repeating it. So we're not trying to use the conscious mind to do the transformation. We're doing something we've already decided. You know, 2,000 years ago, the ancient Romans, the ancient Stoics, the Greeks, they brought together something that they called premeditatio malorum, which was to work in advance before adversity hits. So we can control our emotion, we can control our actions beforehand so that we don't hurt ourselves afterwards by calling it failure.
Yeah. And guys, most of you know my story, but I'm going to share a little bit so you can understand how I truly brain hacked my system. I was born and raised in Iraq, in Baghdad, in the middle of the Iraqi-Irani war. My first day of school in 1991, my country went to war with Kuwait. I graduate from high school and my country goes to war with the world. It was the coalition forces. That's when Saddam went to war with the United Nations. And so my fight or flight, you don't even have to do something. You just have to tickle it a little and it's like there. I was living in a state of fight or flight for forever. And I didn't realize that until I migrated from Iraq to the US in 2007. And the first night I stayed in the US, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep and I didn't understand. What I understand now is I couldn't sleep because my subconscious mind has accepted that my truth is chaos. So when chaos was not existent, my subconscious mind was freaking the F out. It was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? And I was having a panic attack because I was safe. Because my subconscious mind knows how to act in chaotic environment. A bomb happened and you know exactly what to do. But all of a sudden, my subconscious mind was faced with safety and security, and it didn't know what to do. So thankfully, I had Jeff in my life, and I shared this with him after a while. And he said, Zane, most likely you have symptoms of PTSD. And the way that they treat it usually in the US is with years of therapy and a lot of drugs. And I didn't want to do either. So I started to look like, what are alternative therapies that could help me? And that's how I found out about mindfulness. Mindfulness was my introduction to the field. But mindfulness by itself is conscious. You consciously choose to relax. You consciously choose to be present. Now, when I learned about subconscious reprogramming, and that's how I met Nick in 2016, that's when things really shifted, because Nick was able to put me in the theta state or in the learning state. That's like from age 0 to age 7, we were in that theta state. So everything that came to us, we absorbed it and we accepted it the way it is. So Nick helped me enter that learning state and start to help me recreate the story that I want. The story of me in charge of my life versus my subconscious mind running out like crazy. Me in charge of what type of beliefs that I want to be instead of the beliefs that were inside of me. And the transformation has been amazing because over the years I have achieved so much because I was working at one subconscious belief at a time. And the minute you unlock these subconscious beliefs, every other area of your life start to change.
So, Terry is asking the question, well, how do affirmations work to change your subconscious? If it's coming from the conscious, so how do you get to the theta state? How do you get to that state? So, Terry, that's an excellent question. And the way that this works, and I'll let Nick correct me if I'm off base here, but from all of my studies and all of my experience, as we go through the day, we go through these different brain waves and these states of our brain. We're sleeping and we're in one certain brain wave, and then we wake up and we pass through another, and then we come into the conscious world and we're in this other brain wave. Well, as we are going to sleep at night and as we are awakening in the morning, our subconscious is most accessible in those times of the day because our brain waves are in a certain frequency. And that's when the subconscious is most vulnerable to suggestion from the conscious world, right? And so if we use our affirmations during those times of the day, in addition to doing that when you're meditating, because when you're meditating, you're also putting your brain into that area, as well as prayer, right? When you are praying, your brain wave is also going into that area, right? All of these times, this is when our subconscious mind is open. And I think that that's one of the reasons why religion, God, all of these things, they emphasize prayer so much, because it puts our brain in a receptive state to receive instruction, whether that be from an almighty source or whether it be from ourselves or from whatever the source, that it puts ourselves into that state. And as we go through that state, and if we're doing these affirmations at that time, and we add one ingredient, and that one ingredient is emotion to our affirmations during those particular times when our subconscious is most vulnerable to suggestion, that makes it extremely, extremely powerful. That amplifies it so much that we are able to accomplish many, many things. And the subconscious then starts to, and it's almost like a scale, right? Nick was talking earlier about in the first 7 years, it's so critical and so important that we receive the correct, well, what happens if we didn't receive it? Is our life ruined? Are we over? Are there no hope for us? No, we just have to put more positive things and more reinforcement things on this side of the scale in order to change the balance in our favor. That's all we have to do, which means that it means more meditations, it means more affirmations, it means more time to focus on those little small things, these little tricks that you can do, these little hacks that you can do to change your chemistry of your brain and to change your destiny, right? That's really what it's all about, is that we take control. We're not riding a horse and the horse is just going wherever it wants to go. I shared this story on my training the other day of the man who saw a rider on a horse coming to him, and he was on a fast gallop, and they stopped there and they talked to the man, and the man said to the rider, he said, "Where are you going in such a hurry?" And the man said, "I don't know, ask the horse." Don't we feel like that sometimes? Don't we go through life wondering where we're going because the horse is life and we're just riding life and it's just going wherever it takes us? And we don't feel like we're in control. We don't feel like we're accomplishing. Remember that top of that pyramid, self-actualization, the realization of our goals. We have a problem reaching those things because we're just on the horse, riding the horse, and the horse is taking us wherever it wants to go. So Nick, am I off base on any of that there?
No, that was a great description, Jeff. Effectively, you're so right. The meditation, the affirmation, and specifically the emotion that you talked about, the little tiny thing, that makes a big difference. You know, I was always taught, if you don't think, tiny things make a big difference. Spend the night in a room with a mosquito, and I tell you what, you realize it does make a difference. Now, what we're doing by introducing that little bit of emotion within the prayer or the affirmation is we're focusing on a single thing. It's called the idiomotor response. Sorry to get scientific. And what this does, it quietens down the chatter of your conscious mind. Your conscious mind's trying to think about hundreds of things at once. And what you're doing by focusing on a single thing, even though it's coming through the conscious mind, that's why affirmations, meditation, mindfulness can work at a conscious level. Although there's some fantastic work by a guy named Siegel in the States, and what he has said, and it's been proven, that the disconnection of the conscious mind is, 1,000 times more effective. And that's when we get into the deep relaxation, the hypnosis, the regression type activities. That's where it happens, and that's where the reprogramming is at. It's like a computer program. You've got to go down to the code level. There's no use polishing the top of your computer screen and expecting you're going to make it go better or change it. You've got to get down to the code. And the code's the chemicals and the way you think, so that we can get these neural links changed to give you the life. I mean, this is just dynamite.
Exactly.
You should teach this in schools.
It should, because it should be basic. I mean, basic education, because so many people don't have it. So many people are struggling with it because they can't get the job that they want, or they can't make the income that they want, or they can't get their business to work, or they can't get this relationship to work, or they can't seem to have purpose in life. They don't know where they're going. They think they have life figured out. They think they know what they're wanting to do in their life, and then they get going down that path, and all of a sudden everything falls apart on them, and there they are. What are they going to do, right? So many people struggle with this, and that what they don't realize is it is just so simple. It is really the Moses code, God. I am that I am, right? I talked about this also in last week's training. I am that I am. Once we understand that, once we understand that you can use that term powerfully in your life and teach it to your subconscious and to train your subconscious and to use that, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. I mean, we've heard this: if you dream it and believe it, you can achieve it, right? But then people go to try, and then they fail. And then they become depressed. And then they don't go forward. And they lose hope. And they give up. And they quit, right? I mean, we've seen that same cycle repeated time and time and time again, whether it's with just the simple act of going through life, or a relationship, or a job, or a business, or whatever the case might be. People struggle with this on a daily basis. And it's one of the key ingredients to really making it happen, to making it come true. And we have to say these affirmations. We have to do these meditations. We have to do this with real intent, with emotion attached to it. When you attach emotion to something, it makes it more powerful. Right? When you attach something, that it increases the likelihood that you're going to remember that. For example, if you were having a meal last month on Tuesday of last month, the first Tuesday of the month, right? I could ask anyone here, what did you eat Tuesday of last month? No one's going to remember that. I certainly don't remember what I ate the first Tuesday of last month. Does anyone here remember what they ate Tuesday of the last month, the first Tuesday of last month? I don't think anyone can tell us that. However, if your grandmother or your mother or your family member or somebody cooked you your favorite dish, and it made you feel so good to have that family member cook that meal for you, and you attached emotion to that meal, you could say easily, oh yeah, I remember my grandmother cooked that meal for me on that day, and that was the best meal. It made me feel great. I love that. That's comfort food for me, right? When we attach emotion to something that's happening, that's one of those little tricks that Nick is talking about. It becomes burnt into our brain, and we remember, and we can pull it back into recall so much faster and so much easier. Emotion is an amplifier. And when we say our affirmations, Zane was watching the Moses Code here the other day, and the affirmations part came up in the Moses Code, and the lady is sitting there and she's talking about the affirmations, and we all are guilty of this. We've all had the little 3x5 cards, haven't we? Haven't you? Right? Anybody on this chat, I bet you, has had a 3x5 card with their affirmations, their goals written down there, and you're supposed to read them in the morning and read them at night when you go to bed, and maybe once or twice during the day, or pull them out of your pocket. We've all been there. We've all had those. And we read them just like we're reading the book. It's like we're reading a phone book. I'm going to be successful. I will accomplish what I want to accomplish. I will accomplish my dreams, and I will have my yacht, and I will have my house, and I will have all of these things in life. And we read it over and over and over again. But does it ever come true? No. Do you know why? Because you're not saying it like it's already happened, like you can feel it, like you have emotions, like you are that. You are believing with all of your core being that you are happy and you're healthy and you're successful. And you're saying it with emotion every single time that you say it. You're reading those affirmations with energy and with emotion and with heart, and you believe them. You not only believe them, but you believe that you already are them. That's when in those affirmations, that's when all of those things take on a different measure. That's when they become so powerful and so effective. And these are the things that we want to teach people. These are the things that Nick teaches people each and every day, that Zane teaches, that I teach. We want to help people to accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish in life.
So Terry asked, so meditation and affirmation in evening and morning with emotion/intent is most effective?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. To a certain degree, yes. Now, if you really want to brain hack your system, so you put yourself in a state of learning, then the best part is when you immediately wake up, like you just woke up, you just got up, your brain is still transitioning between that theta brain to the alpha brain, from the theta to the alpha to the beta brain, which is our awakened state. That's when it's really a good time to do some meditation and some subconscious reprogramming. Now, Terry, one method that could really help out is record the meditation with your own voice and listen to it in that state. Because in our head, we're always talking. So when you hear the meditation or the affirmation in your own voice and you're still in that state, it's that groggy state. You're not fully awake. You're not fully asleep. When I was beginning meditating, I used to sit up immediately the minute I woke up, and I'm like, okay, I really get to brain hack like as soon as possible. So I sit up in bed and immediately put it in my ear, start listening. Now that I'm very advanced, I know exactly how to slow down my brain, and all it is literally you consciously thinking of slowing down your energy field, slowing down your vibration. So then you're enter the relaxed state. Just imagine you just get back from work, you're so tired, so exhausted, and you just flop on the chair. You actually just entered alpha state when you do that. Now, imagine that intensified. That's what theta state of mind is. That's why, guys, please don't fall asleep listening to the TV. Because next morning you wake up and you think you have fibromyalgia. You wake up and you think that you're a guy and you have your menstrual cycle happening because your subconscious was just wide open listening to all that stuff. So be careful what you literally allow into your subconscious. So I hope this helped Terry. So record it with your own voice. And another thing that also happens is when you're part of experiential meditation groups and stuff like that, where guided meditations are structured in that light. Like a lot of the meditations I teach and I do, especially in private sessions where I know what people are working with and what they need help with the most, where I can suggest when they are in that state and elevate their emotions when they are in that state. So they tap into the deep consciousness, the deep seat of their subconscious. That is like literally what you are talking about on steroid. How do you not fall back asleep? So Terry, sometimes you do fall back asleep. But guess what? If you're listening to that good stuff when you fall back asleep, guess what? You went into the theta state again, and you're wide open, just like a child. A child could be bundled up in the crib and he or she are fully asleep, and yet mom and dad are having a fight about money and having a fight about this and that. And that child now is an adult, and he's wondering why the hell his money is messed up, because he was wide open in that state. So if you fall asleep, go for it. Fall right asleep. Just listen to the right things when you're falling asleep. I used to love listening to music before I fall asleep, until I learned like some of the songs that I enjoy are not very, very positive for my subconscious brain. And I started to shift. And the more you learn the power of your subconscious mind, the more you become cognizant of the things you allow to enter it in the first place. So whenever I find myself like literally daydreaming, I immediately become conscientious. What is in my environment? So like, especially if you're at a doctor office waiting and you just zone off, that was like the worst place to zone off. So I always travel with my earbuds, so I'm listening to something good. So when I do zone off, hopefully I'm zoning off to Zig Ziglar giving me some advice, or Nick teaching me a specific tip, or somebody who is going to teach me something that I want my subconscious to accept, versus me sitting in there and zoning off, and all of a sudden the news appears and president this did that and this person did that, and then you feel agitated and you have no idea why. You haven't even saw the doctor yet. You didn't get any bad news yet. So be very cognizant of things that you allow in your consciousness and in your sphere of influence.
I think that's great advice, great information. So guys, really what we want to make sure that you all understand is that your subconscious is an incredibly powerful, powerful, powerful gift. And it is through that subconscious that you can change your life, you can change your destiny, you can make, you can create, you can do so many incredible things with your subconscious. And it is those successful people in this world that have learned how to harness the power of their subconscious. A lot of people even believe that this subconscious is the gift from God or the universe or the higher intelligence that permeates the universe. It is his or her gift, or its gift to us, because it is through the subconscious that we are allowed to create, and we are allowed to be, and we are allowed to call anything into creation. It is literally the power of God through us becoming manifest. And even the scriptures say, where does the kingdom of God reside? Do we have any religious people here in the group? Can you tell me the answer to that? Some of you out there who have known, where does the kingdom of God reside according to the scriptures? Anyone want to put that into the chat? It's omnipresent in all of us and everything. Thank you, Marilyn. So the kingdom of God resides in you. It resides in me. It resides in everything. It is an energy that is through everything. It touches everything and is connected to everything. And if you haven't watched that movie, The Moses Code, I highly recommend watching that. That's an incredible movie. You can get it on Amazon. Incredible. The Moses Code. I am that I am. Incredible, incredible knowledge and information that we can use in our everyday life to improve our life. The Secret touched on it as well. But we don't really pay enough attention to it. We don't really listen. We hear it and we say, oh, I just have to think about it. Well, no, there's a little bit more than just thinking about it, isn't there, Nick? You've got to do a little bit more than just think about it in your conscious mind to bring about this change. You really need people to guide you, to teach you. You need to seek this information out and obtain it. And you really need to understand how to implement it in your life to achieve the things that you really want to achieve. I can promise you, I have seen it work in my own life. When I quiet my conscious mind and I allow my subconscious mind to come to the surface to work and do its magic, to bring about the change that I'm looking for in my life, the subconscious mind can achieve anything. It can achieve anything. It is that powerful. It really is. So, Nick, what do you have to add? I mean, you've done so many things. You've done hypnosis. You've done group trainings, individual trainings, and what are some things that people can do by coming away from this training? What are some simple things that they can do just to improve their subconscious, the power of their subconscious?
I mean, you know, I've been doing this for about 30 years now and learning all the time and working with some brilliant people from around the world, academics, philosophers and priests. You know, I spent a lot of time working with some different people with different ideas. What I've learned is basically there's 4 things. There's a process of 4 that you have to follow. You can't just go off and go on a marathon. You've got to train for it. And basically, the first stage is you've got to understand what the science, what the philosophy is, and understand how it works, so that you can do your own research and then believe that this will happen, because you've then got to develop the focus. What is it you actually want? Because if you're asking for the wrong thing, you might be 180 degrees out. You know, I forgot who said it, but if you don't know where you're going, any road will do. So we've got to do a specific number of exercises to determine, you know, your focus. And for that, we go through things like representational systems. We do existential philosophy. We look at behavior change. And once we've decided what it is we want and what areas, we then do what we call an ecology check. And the ecology check is, okay, you might be okay going to do what you want. How will that impact on your friends, your family? And you might have to come back a little bit from that. I worked with one guy, a very famous sports person, and he was so determined. He wanted to be the best sportsman in the world. He wanted to make millions, and he went ahead and did it despite the ecology. And he was so unhappy because of it. Then we go into the program itself. And as we go through the program, we start moving up that pyramid to spiritual awakening and actualization. I mean, one of you mentioned a couple of tools, and Zane will know this one, is where you're in your in a relaxed state. And what I want you to do, not now, but when you get your own time, is either use affirmations or use mindfulness, or I want you to imagine yourself, and you can do a mini hypnosis on yourself if you want, and basically become into a relaxed state. And I want you to call that is your happy place. That is perfect. That is heaven on earth, where you're into that space. And then what we do is and the way I taught Zane to do this is use the thumbnail on your index finger and just squeeze. And what you want to do, what you're doing there is you're creating an anchor for the emotional state that you're in at that moment in time. So you want to do it as you're in the peak. You know, you might be walking on a beach in the sun with the sun on your back, listening to the waves roll in. Otherwise, it might be on a mountain somewhere. It might be in one of the Sedona vortexes, where you're surrounded by spiritual energy and you're feeling God, you're feeling one with you anchor that state. And then what you do is you change your mind, think about coffee or bread. And what we're trying to do is break that link. And then what I'd want you to do is to trigger that feeling again. And so basically what we'll do is we'll touch the same point again. And if you get the same feeling back that you had when you're in your special place, you have made it. And that means that you can cope with any stress, any difficult person, any problem that you're going to get when you're feeling a little bit down. This will release those chemicals I mentioned, the oxytocin, the serotonin, the dopamine, the endorphins, that will release it. Now, what happened first time, what you need to do is anchor and re-anchor and re-anchor this about half a dozen times, sometimes maybe 10 times. What you will find is it will work. If you do this right, I guarantee it will work. And if you have problem, let me, Zane, or Jeff know. We'll take it. We'll take you through it to make sure you can do that. I mean, that is a lifesaver. When you're going down, before you're going for an interview, before you go to meet a new person, before you're going to do something important, get into that happy place. When those chemicals flow in a positive direction, you feel better. People can see the projection of how you feel, and it will do you so much good to be in that particular place. Is that an example? Just a simple one, Jeff.
That's a great example. Thank you, Nick. And you know, for those people who are looking for more, if you're looking for help in this area, me, Zane, and Nick have put together an incredible site and an incredible group that we are going to be taking people that join into this group on a weekly adventure through this. And we're going to be working on a lot of these issues that we've been talking about here. We're going to be working on a lot of these things and help you to overcome them and to get over them. And so if you're interested in that, we would love to invite you to join in with that and to come along on that journey. Zane can give you some of the details and tell you a little bit more about that. In addition, we have got an incredible event coming up in Arizona in November. It is going to be stationed in the incredible, now wait for this, you cannot believe this. It is in the city of Carefree, Arizona. What an incredible place to hold a retreat, an event like this in the city of Carefree, with an entire day going up to Sedona to meditate in the vortexes and to go through and take a tour of Sedona, et cetera, et cetera. So we're putting this together. We have the event all scheduled and taken care of, and we'll be releasing information more about that as we go forward. But if you're interested in learning more about what we've been talking about today and doing some of these events and doing some of these things that we're talking about here, then I'll let Zane fill you in on some of the details, and Nick can also talk a little bit about what we're going to do in the group, and then we're going to drop a link for you so that you can go ahead and join. So Zane?
All right. So guys, I wanted you all to have access to me, to Jeff, and to Nick. So over the years, I have worked with, oh my gosh, hundreds of people, and people paid me a huge sums of money to work with them on a one-on-one basis. Now, I kept getting guidance, especially in the past few months, that I get to make my services more available and more intensified for the public. Because working with somebody on a one-on-one basis, while it is awesome, the impact is one person. And Nick did that, I have done that, Jeff have done that. You help that one person and that's it. And while it is fulfilling and it is awesome and the payout is amazing, me, Nick, and Jeff, we're on a mission to really help people eliminate that subconscious virus that lives and resides within each and every one of us. So we wanted to make ourselves available for a selected group of people, a small group of people, because what we did, guys, we created a 3-month program for 12 weeks, and it's built specifically to change the subconscious mind, not change, to transform the subconscious mind. So every week is built on the week after. And what happened is when 3 brilliant minds combine, we wind up coming up with an awesome curriculum and an activation piece, part of that. So what we're gonna do is every week, imagine just in this session where we talked about a lot of stuff, but guys, let's be real. To dive deep into the subconscious is gonna take us more than 1 hour session with the 3 of us here. And to really provide hands-on guidance and hands-on support, we created a Facebook group that those who choose to invest in themselves and join that group, They will get access to us in the group directly. We're going to do weekly trainings like this, where it's just the participants of the group, where we'll also have weekly subconscious reprogramming meditations. So like Terry, you were asking, like, how do you enter the theta state? How do you do this? How do you do that? We wanted to systemize the process so you guys never have to wonder, like, what am I supposed to do? All you get to do is show up to the live training. I'll take you through a specific guidance that will put you in the theta state, and that will enable you to change your subconscious. Nick will do similar things. Jeff will do similar things. And it's only for those who are really looking to change an area in their life that is continuously bugging them. Now I see that Jeff just dropped the link in there. So guys, the investment for that, I'm just going to be fully transparent and 100% honest. When somebody comes to work with me directly, I charge $5,000 to work with them over a period of 3 months. Nick charges $15,000 because Nick, he even trained pilots in the Royal Air Force. He trained athletes who were literally going to win gold and medal, and that one little subconscious that was holding them back. Now we know realistically, guys, while it's awesome to just charge $5,000 and $15,000, we wanted to make our services available to the public. So we created this Facebook group where you will get access to us directly. And we made the investment so small, so minute, that it's ridiculous to not invest in yourself. It's one payment of $297, and you will get us for 3 months. And guess what, guys? Especially those who have been part of my inner circle and Geoffrey's, you guys know that we give so much from the heart. So do you think that when the 3 months are over, we're just going to say, oops, we met you once, go? No, that's not how we operate. That's not how we do business. What we do is we take people and share with them what have worked in our lives and be there for them. So when somebody is having a specific issue and they might need a little extra help, imagine if it's a group of just 30, 40 people inside a group, and not like the last live that Geoffrey did yesterday had 11,000 people. We cannot serve 11,000 people all at once, but a small group of people at 3 months at a time, we can serve in that capacity. And we really want to help and support you. So Jeff has dropped the link. If you've been hanging out with us for the past hour and we taught you few things that really resonated with you and opened your mind, imagine what we're going to do with you guys over the next 3 months. I have so much things that I cannot wait to get my hands on you guys inside the group, because these things literally took me from a broke man from the Middle East who thought that he will not accumulate anything because he quit medical school, to now running a 7-figure business, owning my own life, in charge of my own destiny. And whenever the subconscious mind starts to play an old record, consciously I choose to anchor in a different part of my subconscious. So right now, my subconscious mind actually is very upset at me because it knows that I'm onto him and nothing works. Because when you understand the power of putting yourself in the learning state, and that's what we will do every week with you guys. We want you to know how the learning state feels, that you can be doing that all the time. So Jeff, hold on guys. Jeff has sent the link to the panelist only. So I just dropped the link for you guys. So guys, the investment is one payment of $297. And let's be realistic. The new iPhone is coming next Friday. How many of you are willing to go to debt to get that new iPhone? That's just one example. Let's start to invest in the right things in our life. My invite for you guys is invest in the right area of your life. A lot of you who are on this live here, I had the pleasure of working with you in a business capacity. That Zane still exists, but that Zane has upgraded himself. I'm no longer in the business capacity. I'm in the capacity of literally taking a person who feels broke mentally, emotionally, financially, on whichever level that you can add illy to it, and really break them through that. That's why I created this group with the help of Nick and Jeff. And guys, a prime example of a person who has achieved a lot just by working with Nick directly is me. I actually had the privilege to sit in the same chair that athletes sat in. Yeah, I remember the black chair.
Hey, the black chair. The room's a bit of a mess, but guys.
Oh my gosh, Nick is going to show you the chair.
There, so that's my kid's stuff. There is the chair.
That's the chair I sat in 2016 when I came to Nick and I said, Nick, I am making so much freaking money, but it's disappearing in my hand like water. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've been doing affirmations. I've been doing prayers. I am like blue in the face from meditation. That's simple, Zane. You have a block in that area. And we did a little hypnosis / past life regression. And I found out that in my childhood, like the topic of money was, whenever it was mentioned, it was either money is evil or why are we talking about money? Nothing good comes out of money. So when I started to make money, those subconscious beliefs that I accepted, they were like, okay, you don't want to be a not good person and you don't want to be an evil person. So get rid of the money. Literally, that's what was happening. So imagine, guys, us working with you inside the group to work on the areas that you are not breaking through in. You will have access to us directly inside the group. It'll be an intimate group. For 3 months, we're going to go through a journey together. For those who really want to take their game to the next level, I would happily invite you to come join me, Nick, and Jeff in Sedona, where we're going to do this in person for 5 days. But that's a different story.
That you need to announce as well, Zane, one of the biggest perks of belonging to this group is the discount that they get for the future event in Sedona and all of the other stuff.
So also, guys, for people who join this group, you will have early bird special to all of our future events in Sedona. You will also have front row seating. And you will have VIP access to me and Nick and Jeff, which means you can ask us questions directly. And there are a lot of people here who I worked with in a business sense. So you know, guys, how active I am, and Jeff. And Nick, some of you might not know him, but he's of the same vibration as me and Jeff. All heart, all service, and all about what is this gift that we have and how could we share it with the world. Now, guys, I'm going to be transparent and honest. I would love to do all this work for free. I would love to do that. But I also know that anytime something is available for free, people just don't honor it. How many people go to the public school system here in the US and bitch about it all day long? Yet when they go to college, because they have to pay for it, oh, I got to straighten up, man. I have all these student loans. So that's why I charge for my services. Another reason why I charge for my services is to honor myself, to honor that the years of learning, the years of training, the years that I invested to learn this talent is being honored. And the minute I learned like money is energy and the gifts that you have could be shared with the world so openly and you can charge for it, oh my gosh, I manifested so much abundance. It's amazing what you could do. And this is what me, Jeff, and Nick want to help you guys with. Now, how many of you here? We still have 16 people still watching. How many of you are committed to really take the next 3 months and bulldozer through all subconscious misbeliefs so you can transition to the next level? So by the new year, you are truly a new you. You're no longer just wondering, hoping, wishing. Oh my gosh, Kelly is in. Congratulations, Kelly. Terry is in, says, I'm done, I'm in. Congratulations, guys. My mission is to get 20 to 30 people in the group and literally take you guys over the next 3 months with the help of Nick and Jeff to the next level. So when 2020 hits, none of that remnant subconscious baggage that you might be holding on to continues to stick in your life. So if you're still watching, that means what we're sharing with you is resonating with you. It's resonating with you. And guys, let's be honest. If you're not willing to invest less than $300 in your own future, in your own self, to get rid of things that have plagued you your entire life, then my friend, the choice is yours. You're consciously choosing to do things in a certain way. And for those of you who have read a lot of the books from the beautiful James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, and The Science of Getting Rich, you know that doing the same thing over and over in a certain way will only get you the same exact results. And unless you change that, you will only get the same exact thing. Congratulations, Janice. Yay. Marilyn also said, thank you guys for making this so affordable. Absolutely, Marilyn. Honest to goodness, Marilyn, I could run a Facebook ad. I have 860,000 followers on my Facebook page. Nick has 1.1 million followers on his page. Oh, more? What is the last number?
Just under 1.6 million now.
Oh my God, I just stole 500,000 away from you. I apologize publicly. So guys, we could easily run a Facebook ad, and I would be taking people who would be paying me the $5,000, and Nick would be paying him 15 grand. But we don't want to do that anymore. We did this for years. We really want to take this learning and make it public. We want this to be in the hands of the parents, the mothers, the kids, so they no longer have to live in this day and age broken. Guys, each and every one of us is complete the way we are, but we have a broken system inside of us. That's why certain areas of life are broken. That doesn't make you broken. That makes there is a glitch in the software. And what we're going to do over the next 3 months is we're going to go into that software, embed new chips in there, and get you on your way. Of course, Jeff is muted and he started talking.
Yeah. So it's really going to be a lot of great fun because, you know, I've gone through a lot of this stuff with Nick myself, and I've sat in that black chair as well. And it's just absolutely incredible. The meditations that we're going to be doing, the journeys that we're going to be taking, we're going to be doing all of this self-discovery. We're going to be finding out so much about yourself. You're going to understand you. And that's kind of the most important part of this type of work, is to finally understand you, to get inside of you and to figure out what makes you tick. Why do you do the things that you do? Why do other people do the things that they do? And how can we not react to that all of the time? When we catch ourselves doing something that we know that we shouldn't be doing, and we just catch that moment, we've all been there. We have to understand what is triggering that. What is making that happen? Why does that happen? Nick, can you talk a little bit just about that, just so that they understand the journey that they're going to get ready to go through in these next few months, because it's going to be incredible. I'm really super excited about this.
I think, Jeff, you know, you're so right. One of the first things that I would recommend that we take people, and we've got to get their agreement, their buy-in for where it is that they think they want to go. So we're going to be doing. We'll dive straight in. And if people can think of the most fantastic emotional movie they've ever seen in the whole of their life, well, we're going to go 1,000 times deeper than that. You are going to see things and feel things that you've never felt before. And that's the power of this particular program. It's going to be step by step. We are going to start off with some examples. So we'll take people deep, from the first couple of minutes. We're then going to go back a second, and what we'll do is we're going to look at and test where is it that people think that they've got a block. Why is it they think those are the blocks? And then we'll find another 3 or 4 that are really in the subconscious blocks that they don't even know about. So this is a fantastic journey in itself, in that we're looking at an individual and where they want to go and setting that particular program. Even though it's going to be a group program, each individual is going to have different aims, different objectives, different goals. And then we're going to get into into the program itself based on each person's needs and wants. You know, some things people might find are a little bit strange, so we want to go a little bit slower. You know, it's like putting on one of these virtual reality headsets, because it's just going to, honestly, I'll say it will blow your mind where we are about to take you. It's very structured. It's scientifically based. You know, I've spent 6 years training as a clinical psychologist. When I got 2 years in, I told my professor I didn't want to work with people who had problems. I only wanted to work with people who wanted to increase their performance. And actually, very quickly, I realized that actually everyone's got issues. And to get that extra 1%, and Zane's right, I've worked with 3 Olympic gold medalists to increase by 0.5%. And even they had to go back. There's one of them, a young lady I was working with. She was a sculls rower, and it went. Her performance wasn't working because she had picked up from a child the way that someone had looked at her, and she saw that look, and that put her into a particular space where these nasty chemicals, cortisol, was released into her system, and that reduced her ability to be a winner. And you find that so many people, it'll be a smell, it will be a sight, it will be something that's caused that particular block. Everyone is equal. They've got the same brain, the same system, the same connections, the same chemicals. Now, we know that some people who are brilliant have done this by themselves, and that's fantastic. The majority of people need a little bit of help. And actually, that's what we're here for, to make people champions as they see fit in their own eyes, across a spectrum of different things. So we have a structured program. We're going to have structured support, and we'll start off taking them deep, and then we'll go into a person. Even though it's group, it's going to be personalized, because some people are going to want to do a particular session on this. Others might want to focus on something else. And actually, the program I've been doing is, as Zane said, I charge a lot of money, but at the same time, probably 50% now of my work is charity. I need to feed my kids. I need to keep the house going, which is why, you know, we don't want to give it 100% free, but as free as we can get it to help people.
You know, that's one thing that people, they oftentimes think about, you know, well, why isn't it more money? Why aren't you charging like the big gurus charge thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for something like this? You know, humans tend to be the only people on earth that take more, the only things on earth that take more than what they need. And so many people take advantage of other people by taking more than what they need and not giving the value in return for that. And that's one thing that I told Nick and I told Zane from the very beginning, is I want to give value. I want to give real value to the people that we're helping. And I don't want to overcharge. I don't want to make this so burdensome that they're having to go and they're having to sell a car, or they're having to borrow the money from a relative, or they're having to exchange their 401k and take money out of it. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that in the things that we do. I don't want that energy to be present in it. A tree doesn't take more nutrients and water from the soil than it needs to grow. Why do we as humans think that we need to take more than what we need to grow and make a happy, healthy life for ourselves? This belief that we have to become so powerful and so wealthy and just mega wealth and billions of dollars, that's fine and dandy. And if you can achieve that, that's great, especially if you're using that money for the good of others and for the good of yourself and your family. But that greed, don't let that greed take hold of you. Don't let that greed take hold and grasp you and keep you in its clutch. Don't let that happen. Remember, we can do these things and do them with integrity. We can do them with value, and we can do them with heart, and we can do them with love, and we can do them with compassion, and we can help people overcome these obstacles that are in their lives to really make a new stretch, a new accomplishment, to have a happier, healthier, more productive life. That's what this is really all about. It's not about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about really taking and teaching you these principles that have been here for thousands of years. They've just been, like that movie, kept secret. They've been kept hidden from a lot of humanity. And it's time that we as human beings learn to grow, and we learn to access this information. We learn to develop, and we learn to reach out and touch the lives of other people, especially the ones that are close to us, our friends and our family first, and then beyond that. That's what we really want to see. We want to see that kind of growth. We want to see that kind of change in you, in others, and in the world. And if we simply start learning a little bit more about ourselves and how we can use these gifts that we've been given, and how we can use the subconscious, how we can understand our body, what really makes us do what we do, and what others do what they do. And when we understand, I am that, I am, that's when we can make change. That's when we can influence our life. That's when we can influence others. And that's when this world starts to change, is when these things happen. It doesn't matter if you've made millions of dollars and you've done this and you've given it away to charity, or you've done that. Those are all honorable things. But what have you really done to change the world and to ease the suffering of another person? Have we taken that time to listen to that person and their trials and their tribulations and their challenges? And have we shared in their pain and their suffering along their journey? That's when we make the real change, is when we do those small things like that.
And Jeff, I would like to share my screen, because I want to go through each one of the things that we will be doing and like give people an idea. But before we do that, I want to congratulate Irene. She just joined. Congratulations, Irene. We're going to have a lot of fun. Irene, me and her, we go back, way back, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So congratulations to Irene. Marilyn also just joined. So congratulations, dear. We're going to have a blast. We're going to do a lot of amazing things. So give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen. And are you guys able to see the screen? In the chat, if you can just say yes, that would be awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Also, guys, Kelly in the house is with us, and Michaela Russo is in the house, and they are part of the transformation. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. So guys, in here, let me dissect what I know. It looks, what's up?
There you go. Michaela, isn't she in England too? She is
in England.
Nick, there you go. Another former comrade there in England, a country mate for you.
So yes, and Michaela, oh my gosh, I love that lady. She comes with an extensive background in Reiki and a lot of amazing things. So I think this group is going to be a blast, and I'm honored to guide you guys, and I'm even more honored that the likes of Nick is with us in the house, because he has as you guys heard, like work with Olympians and royalty, and to bring this gift to all of us. It's amazing. Oh, I love you too, Michaela. So, all right, guys, I want to share with you guys in here. So for those who are still watching, I noticed everyone is still watching, which means it's resonating with you. So if there's something preventing you from taking action, please share, be open. This is a space for us to share. Be open, like what is preventing you? Do you have a specific questions you would like for me or Jeff or Nick to answer? But if you're still here and you're watching and you know that this is for you, then I invite you to think. If you let yet another opportunity go by, will the results that you will get tomorrow be any different? So if you want to do something you've never done, you have to do something you have never done in order to get that in the first place. So the Ignite Your Life transformational journey, it'll be 12 weeks of live virtual sessions, similar to this style. Now, hopefully, when we are a small group, you guys will not be shy and you will join us on camera, because we want to see you and you want to see us. And the few people who have joined, I know you guys are not camera shy, so we get to see you. That's awesome. So we get 12 weekly live trainings. That it's not a recording. It's me and Jeff and Nick live with you guys. And we're going to take you through an experiential learning. So we're not going to do stuff that's woo and high in the sky. You're going to actually experience it live during the session. Now, another thing that I want to share with you guys is the downloadable PDFs and worksheets. These are things that, like journal prompts, like trigger corrections, things that will enable you to really dig deep. The 7 questions you get to ask yourself to see if you're aligned or not. That alone is worth $300, just that one piece. And you're going to get all of that. And also 20% discount on any future course that we are putting. Now, I'm doing something that I'm not going to do ever, and Jeff will kill me, but he has a generous heart, so I think he will love that. For those who are going to join us today, I'm going to increase that 20% to 40%. So anytime in the future, we do a course, we do a training, we do anything, 40% down. Now, the only caveat, guys, is live events are a little bit different. It's a totally different animal because you're dealing with hotels and insurance and stuff like that. But for anything that me and Jeff, we're going to put forward from now on, you will get 40% discount for life. So if a course is $1,000, you'll get $400 down. If a course is $100, you'll get $40 discount. So for Irene and Michaela and Janice and the few others who joined and Kelly, you will have 40% for life on any courses that we're going to do in the future. Because guess what, guys? Me and Jeff have literally stepped into our power. Our mission is to transform lives through personal growth. And we've been in a different environment in the past where we were serving different capacities. Now we're focused on one area and one area only, which is personal transformation. Because we know if you as a person become transformed, then every other area in life will become transformed. Your relationship, your business, your job, your friendship, even your relationship with the self. So I know I was a little long-winded here, but I am very passionate about this. Now, when we are a small group together inside the group, I don't know if you guys caught this. There will be extra weekly trainings that the topics will be chosen by you guys, because this is your training. This is not my training or Geoffrey's or Nick's. We already know exactly what to do with our subconscious mind. We already know how to fix the things that we need fixing when they bubble up. And guess what, guys? There is no claim that we fixed everything in our life. No, because every time you enter a different stage in life, different subconscious beliefs start to appear. So this training that you're going to get today, you're going to get it for life, because once you learn how to reprogram one belief, it's game over. And my mission, and Nick's and Jeff, is that you guys learn this and you go and teach your kids and you go and teach your brothers and sisters. Now, guys, for those of you who are here live, guess what? It will be fun if your family or friends will join us here. So feel free, guys, to share this training with them and invite them to join in the group. And I invite you to do that. But back to the topic, weekly bonus trainings coming from you, not me, not Jeff, not Nick. We'll do a poll in the group and see what area that most of you guys agree on that we can really do trainings on. Now, the other thing that I want to highlight, you guys will have access to the training that we're going to do with you for the 3 months period for life. So if you are going through a different area of life, there are 7 main areas of life: health, wealth, money, relationships, success, energy, transformation. These are 7 different areas that I'll share with you once we're inside the group. But any one of these 7 areas, if it's not functioning, you can go back to the training and reprogram there. And also, I have a victory gift box. Now, full transparency, I haven't finalized what's in that box because I want to also ask you guys, once you join in, about what certain things we could put in that box. For those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know how much I love crystals, and I love energy work, and I love Reiki. And so before I make this virtual box that you will receive an email finalized, when we're all starting in the group, we will add some extra tools. But it's there. There's a lot of awesomeness from me and Nick and Jeff, and we'll add even more as a group. So these are the components, guys, and we really want to serve you. So if you have any question and you're still watching and you're not sure, please ask. But if you're here and you're still watching, then please go to this link right now. Quit wondering, quit thinking, quit pondering. Go right now, click on the link that I just dropped and join. Because your transformation depends on you taking action right now.
And Marilyn pointed out that, you know, this is less than $25 a session. And that's correct, Marilyn. That is correct. That's right. Because we strongly believe in not taking more than what is needed, and not overcharging, and not being that person that is greedy and trying to take advantage of people and take more than what is needed. We don't like that. We don't believe that. That's not a concept that Nick holds. It's not a concept that I hold, and it's not a concept that Zane holds. We want something different out of life. And we want to do this with integrity. And we want to seriously help people to change their life, to accomplish what they want to accomplish in life and their dreams. That's what we want. So if you haven't joined yet, I strongly encourage you to join up. We'd love to have you there. I believe Francine said that she was having some trouble checking out. So Francine, if you would just message Zane, probably would be best. You have Francine's contact information, Zane?
Francine, most likely you either came from an email list or from Facebook. If we're friends on Facebook, just message me and I'll take care of that for you. If you're on my email list, email me back and I'll do my best to help out.
Zane, can you post an email for her to send an email to you here, an email address?
Yeah.
So she can email you directly and we can help her with that, sort it out.
So
Nick?
guys, I just put the email in there. It's zb@zanebaker.com. Oops. Hold on.
So Francine, it's, make sure that you get it there. It's zb@zanebaker.com.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Francine. So Nick, what do you say? Are you ready to take this group on and start helping them get going in all that they've got to do and need to do?
I think this is the next, Who Wants to Go to Mars, when we've got all this to explore and people to succeed. This is the start of our new episode, moving away from things that might have brought us some financial gain into where we can bring people together in a group with integrity, where we can love and help people grow. That's what life's about for me now.
There you go.
Changed since I was in the Air Force flying fighter jets. These things happen.
All right. All right. Well, let's wrap it up then. I think that we've given some great ideas, some great content to everybody today. We've made an offer. Does anybody have any questions before we go? Thank you, Maryland. Thank you, you guys. You are all amazing as well, and thank you all for joining today. We sincerely mean that. You're all. We hold you all very dear to our hearts that you took the time out of your day to join in and listen to us today. Looking forward to getting started. Yes, very much, Irene. We are too. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hugs out to you. Looking forward to seeing and hearing you in the future. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Motto E5 Cruz. I'm not sure who that is, but thank you. Thank you, Kelly. You are amazing as well. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we will wrap it up here. You will get an email that this is recorded. So if you need to come back and listen to it again, if you need to contact us as well, you can contact us via email at zb@zanebaker.com. That's a Z as in zebra, B as in boy, zanebaker.com.
zb@zanebaker.com.
That's right. All right. So we will get off of here. We will let you guys go and get on with your day and or evening. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks. Remember, this is my cheer. Together we stand.
So say we all.
All right.
All right, guys. I love you all, and we'll see you inside the group.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Cheers.